Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm Greg Gordon, and welcome back to the Mentor My Mix podcast. Today, I have the great pleasure of being in the studio with Vital Powers. That's right, from the UK to California, Vital Powers brings it big time. Grime to rap, drill to dancehall, reggae, Jamaican style. He's really doing it up. The music's awesome, and he's really been blowing it up on social media. Robert, our social media director, found him just blowing up the Instagrams, and we found out that not only that, but he's got a BBC radio show. His music is fantastic, and he's distributed by Ditto Music and a content creator for them as well. I think we're going to learn a lot today. He's got a background as a mentor as well, so that really resonated with me. You can imagine why. Check it. This is going to be an awesome, fun set with Vital Powers.
Mentor My Mix with Greg Gordon. Mentor My Mix.
Mentor My Mix is made possible by Pyramind Music and Audio Production Institute. Evolve your sound with expert trainers and up-to-date courses designed to fit the needs of emerging artists and producers. Go to pyramind.com for details about the San Francisco campus and online programs.
Yeah, I'm too savage. Yeah, I'm too savage. Take things slow, don't panic. DIY, I'll manage. When I'm done with the game, you can have it, wait. For your thing dead, so tragic. For your thing dead, no static. For me thing up in the attic. For me thing up. Disappear, reappear like magic.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Mentor My Mix podcast. I'm here today with Vital Powers. What is up, Vital?
What you telling me, brother? I'm feeling absolutely amazing today. I'm hearing some good vibes with good people. Mentor My Mix is a vibe.
That's right. You know it's a vibe. Tell us what we're checking out here. Tell us what
right
this
now,
is here.
You are seeing a video that I would say maybe only 15 people have ever seen, and even then I've only seen like 30 seconds.
So we got a world premiere here.
Galaxy premiere,
nice.
universal premiere, you know what I mean?
All right.
Too Savage. I've actually recorded the majority of it in Dubai on 2 separate occasions, and I finished it off. Oh, that was actually in Hawaii, I forgot about that.
Oh, okay.
And the rest of it was filmed in San Francisco. Just kind of, the song's called Too Savage. I'm showing my energy, my vibe. And it's almost like this kind of play on, like, I'm cheeky. It's like a cheeky vibe.
Sure.
So with that, you want to have the visuals looking like cool, suave, cheeky, like things that you'd want to be around. Beautiful sceneries in a club, out by the beach, by the seaside, cruising on an electric skateboard, in the sand dunes in Dubai. Just really cool things that you don't always see. That's the idea behind the whole visual.
Nice. But now it's got a super laid-back vibe. What's inspiring that here?
So when I actually made it, it was very much, I was with the producer. His name's Monkey Neck. He's actually from Budapest, and we made it in Cambridge in England. He's got a studio in his space. He actually played it and he told me he didn't like the production. I'm like, are you crazy?
Really?
The horns and everything. So what he actually did, it never sounded like this when we first had it. He started playing the horns, live instruments on there, put them in there. Then I just kept saying to myself, I'm too savage. I'm too savage. That's all I could hear. So from that one statement created the whole song. And it was just not like, oh, I'm trying to make a song about X, Y, Z. But it was more the idea of I'm trying to make a song utilizing the feelings I'm feeling right now, which is laid back, cool, relaxed, a vibe. You could play it in a club, you can play it in the morning, play it at night, play it when you're doing work, play it when you're about to go out. I just thought all cases,
Well, that's super cool because, it's interesting that you wanted to run with that because it's very different from the kind of the grime, drill, dancehall vibe that I've seen you coming with on your other tracks.
Yeah, man.
So you got a lot of diversity in your approach here.
It's weird because, like, I've always tried to, I don't want to say, oh yeah, I can do everything, I'm so versatile, because that takes away from, are you actually making music or are you trying to keep up with trends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And honestly, it's not a trend. I haven't heard a song that sounds like that, if I'm being very honest.
No,
and it was like, well, this sounds unique to me. This sounds like, untapped. This sounds like something that, my brother, a few of my brothers who are more like, gritty and love kind of hard drill, hard rap, heavy kind of music like that, like it. But then I could also play it to my nan. Do you know what I mean? Like,
sure,
so it's like this idea
yeah,
of like, you can put it anywhere and it'll catch the vibe, linking to my other songs, my other kind of genres that I fall into, I mean, I'm not shying away from anything. It's just definitely like, I love the vibe in the moment, and who am I to not make the song when the song's telling me it needs to be made?
Well, and that's the beauty of being an independent artist, right? And having as much control as you do over the content that you create.
Yeah.
Now, you came originally from what town in the UK?
So it's a city called Wolverhampton. It's, if you know anything about like the UK or England specifically, obviously everyone mentions London, but the second city is Birmingham, and then next to Birmingham, which is in the middle of England, West Midlands, is a city called Wolverhampton. Same characteristics as Birmingham, which is smaller, a little bit more unique, a little bit, and oh my God, there's so much talent there. And I don't just mean rappers and singers, but I mean, you know, photographers, videographers, dancers, like everything in that kind of creative space is there, but there is no infrastructure there. So you have to go Birmingham, you have to go London, you have to come to SF.
Sure,
you know what I mean? So that kind of vibe, man.
Well, I'm glad you found us here in SF, and we found you. And how would you say that impacted you from a musical influence standpoint, growing up in that city?
I think specifically that's why, you know, I'm so fluid when it comes to genres. I'm so fluid when it comes to my approach.
Yeah.
Like my dad, mom, Jamaican backgrounds. My mom was born in England, but my mom was born in England but raised in Jamaica. My dad was born and raised in Jamaica, and then both of them came back over here, over to the UK.
Right.
So that Jamaican families, it's in me. I can't run from that culture. It's there.
And you've got that mix in your accent.
Yeah,
what
man.
I'm hearing, the Jamaican
It drops out
with the
in it.
British. It's got a nice like
appreciate that.
musical, you know, lilt to it. All in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
You just open your mouth and it just like has musical vibes.
No, that's it. No, but that's the Jamaican culture. It comes with that rhythm, rhythm or whatever.
Yeah, right.
And then the other side is the British part. So obviously, you know, going to school, hanging out with friends, you know, understanding the British culture. A lot of that is taken from Jamaica, Africa specifically, and 100% America. So, you know, when we talk about grime or UK drill itself is an American Chicago kind of vibe that we've taken and made our complete own. Grime is taken from jungle and garage and reggae / dancehall and 100% like US hip hop.
Yeah.
So a merge of all of that.
Some of the Atlanta hip hop scene too. A lot of it came out of that.
Bro,
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a mix of all, because it's what we were exposed to. It's actually so beautiful, because when it comes to, not to kind of pivot too much, but when you think about race and all these things, it's like, this question, how can someone be racist in England when you see everyone? Do you know what I mean? Like, how can
especially in such a much smaller physical,
bro,
dense
it's condensed, so it's like
space.
you can't hide from anyone. Do you know what I mean? So like, I know I try to lead with love all the time, but not obviously everyone's like that. But that's a different conversation, you know what I mean?
No, it's appropriate. I think it's very appropriate, you know, leading with love and also being able to integrate all these cultures, not only from a musical standpoint, but just life, you know,
personable,
personal, and integrating that into understanding the need to communicate and being a communicator, which is what you are, because you've been making content since a fairly young age, huh?
I have actually had my YouTube channel since 2006, which is when it came out. I wish I did more at a younger age, but I didn't understand like the monetary financial space it could have been from early. Because if you was on it from early, there's people with like, you know, millions. 2 million subscribers. Like, you only get that from years of putting in the work, you know what I mean? And I kind of use it as a dumping ground, if I'm being honest. So I make something cool, put it on YouTube, walk away. Oh, it's got 1,000 views. That doesn't mean anything. If I understood at that age, it would have been a lot more profitable. But then as, you know, time's gone, and I'm like, okay, so views mean something to someone.
Right. Well, what would you say now to somebody coming up who's making content? I mean, how seriously would you tell them to take this?
Me making those mistakes when I was younger, not understanding, like, you know, the platforms and the resources I had, thinking that, I need to be signed or I need to be whatever. I realized, okay, right now, the new thing, like last year was NFTs. This year it's AI. Everyone's, AI did. So instead of complaining, talking, and just being a user of these things, how can you adapt that to your own self? And it's just the idea of like, so how could you convert that into helping you with music? So, all right, you need a deck, like a artist deck or a EPK or something. Literally say, write me a blank canvas EPK. then all you have to go in there is fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
And now you're saving yourself time. You've got a whole PDF that's already set for you. And I just think utilize these things and use a business approach, because people think, oh, make music, people are like it. It don't work like that. I mean, it can, but it doesn't always.
Yeah.
It's less than 10% people make, or less than 1% actually, of artists actually get anywhere. So maybe if you're not in that 1%, how can you be the 10% that maybe don't get all the way, but you live off the music that you do?
Well, that's an important...
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a very important point right there, because when you talk 1%, you're talking about... high visibility artists.
I'm talking
millions and millions of views and streams and
Beyonce
100
level.
millions,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, but then the rest, there is a good chunk of that top 20%, I would say, that make a decent living
100%.
and certainly make enough of a living to not have a day job and can be focused solely on their content.
I think a lot of people don't understand that that's also a position you can hold, because people only go for, I believe, the Beyonce, the Drake, the people of that ilk or whatever it might be. And then the problem is, nothing's wrong with aiming for the sky or whatever, but you know what I mean, aim as high as you possibly can, but don't think because you didn't hit that in a certain time frame that it's all's lost.
Right. Taking your career, visibility of your career in 3-year arches is a really good approach, because that's enough to actually build yourself a roadmap, and then after 3 years, look back on your accomplishments, feel good about what you did, learn about what you weren't able to accomplish, and then set your next 3 years in motion. And then it's a constant building process. You're constantly building. And, they talk about one-hit wonders, or they talk about people who are just coming out of nowhere, but nobody ever comes out of nowhere.
No,
we know that, right?
There's always a background. Even if literally, if a manager or an agent or a label picked you up from something, there was at least a couple recitals or like talent shows you did. There's always something.
There's always, and in this day and age, it's usually going to be some viral video or a track that people just go bonkers over, and then that gets you out into a lot of visibility out there, which is why we're starting out. I wanted to start this content discussion with you, from the beginning, because I feel like that's something that everybody has a chance at if they sink their teeth into it.
If I'll be honest, I'm going to pivot on that, because I don't want a viral moment. When I say I don't want a viral moment, I think I'm more specifically talking about if I have a viral moment because of one of my songs and then I get 1.8 million followers, then I've done the task correctly. But if I now have,
I think that's the ultimate point, right?
But if I was to do a little, cause this is why I don't go on TikTok and dance, because it deters from what I'm actually trying to do.
Sure.
So that's more what I mean. I'm not going to do something that isn't me, and then it goes viral, and now people are expecting me to dance all the time. And what makes it worse is when that content goes viral, but nothing happens to my socials, because maybe someone took that video, put it on a really well-known, platform. I've got millions of views over there, but nothing's coming back to me. To me, that's more like destructive, because now if I pop up with other things that I am, isn't that the guy who? And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
So I think I'm trying to be more specific in a sense of like, I think we just have to be mindful of like, you're chasing a viral moment, but make sure whatever you're chasing, it ties to what you actually care about, or what you actually don't mind doing for the rest of your life.
You dropped one of your first releases in 2016, Powers.
It's one of my first official ones.
Yeah. Okay, I know you've been doing this for a while, but official ones, and that hit the hip hop top 20 charts on iTunes, right? And then you followed that out with some big shows.
So I was like 24 or something at the time, and I said, I'm going to do a show in my city. And when I do this first show, I want to sell out 400, 500 tickets. And I'm like, let me not take it from a standpoint of, can I? Let me take it from a point of, this is a business. And if you had a business and you had to put on a show or whatever, then it's not about if you've got fans or not. It's about, are you going to market it well? So I had to kind of refocus on marketing and not put the message out and wait. Because that doesn't create any need to come, you know what I mean? So that's when I really started going crazy with content. I was making all kind of funny things and cool things, but it all related to music in some way, shape or form. I was out there doing guerrilla marketing. I was out there putting posters up. I was talking to people. I was getting young people onto the show. So I would have like 2 or 3 opening acts, and all these young people are either doing well or fresh in the game. I would have competition. My point is, I made so much ways that there was no way I couldn't sell it out. Like there was no way, because the amount of people that have like almost said, yes, we're coming, or bought a ticket, overall was like 1,000 people. So at worst, half of them would come.
Yeah.
And then I would have sold out. So I oversold, knowing full well not everyone would come. It's perception at the end of the day. People will pay for what they see you can do.
Sure.
And then do it. I think, you know, connecting with people is the best way to get anything done. I mean, I could be out here screaming, follow my Spotify all day and get 100,000 streams and whatever else. But at the end of the day, is anyone booking me for anything? Like, you know what I mean? I want people to hear my music, but I don't want it to just be in a playlist. Like you was talking about the person that, you know, cares about the fans, and the person that, wants the viral moment, and then the person that is like more like, I'm making music so people can listen to it, so I can have a fan base. Yeah. I am that person. I really am. And it does hinder me a lot of the time, because I could do all these crazy things and get X amount of whatever. But then I just know I'm going to sit at home like, well, I've got 80,000 followers, but I can't sell out this show. Do you know what I mean? Like, or no one wants me to come for that reason. They want me for something
Fair
else.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's a weird position to be in.
At what point did you get on the BBC radio show? Because you got you became a presenter on BBC, right?
Just under 2 years. So that was like a unique space. Again, doing all the music stuff, did all the shows that I was just talking about. While I'm doing these shows, I'm releasing music. So I'm releasing Powers. I'm releasing another project called Clean Arts Only, and then songs and singles and freestyles in between that. I remember I had an interview with the BBC, and like I said, I've known them for a little while. I'm quite friendly. Someone someone just didn't turn up, one of the hosts. So while I was being interviewed, the other host was like, her name's Louise, a great person. She was like, oh, can you just stay and, I don't know, just help me with the rest of the show? I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever, let's do that. So Louise asked me to kind of come in and just do 1 week, and then I came in and did another week. And I'm just co-hosting, not really understanding anything other than, oh, I'm co-hosting and they're paying me. So I'm like, okay, I've never been paid to be interviewed, but now I'm interviewing. It was like a weird concept at first. And don't get it twisted, like as a younger person, I would do everything. I would draw, I would put a mic on my table and pretend I'm a radio host. So all these things have always passed my mind, but I'm like, I'm a music guy, that's what I do, you know what I mean? So this would keep happening. Like I said, for like 6 weeks this is happening. And then, like I said, the head of programs contacted me and said, you know, we like your vibe, we like, you know, how you sound, you're gelling well with the other presenter. Would you like your own show? And I'm actually missing out a piece. So the way the UK works, so with the BBC anyway, they have the BBC introducing show. So after I did it for 6 weeks with Louise, I actually did it with someone else for another 6 weeks. And it was just that they were kind of basically collecting information to see how well I gelled just in that scenario in general. But honestly, I was just loving it. But fast forward, like head of program said, you know, you want your own show, and I called it the Midland Sauce. The reason why I did that, so I had a song called the Midland Sauce, like, you know, like ketchup, like mayonnaise.
Oh, sauce, yeah.
So that's saucy because I'm flexing.
Sure.
But then I called the show the Midland Sauce, like SOURCE, like a point. You know what I mean? Like, we are the source for the Midlands. So it was like a play on my song, but also the idea. The way I would introduce it, you would hear a little bit of my song, and it was like, this is the Midland Sauce. And it would like echo, and then bam, I would start. And it was a 3-hour show. It was in the evenings. And I was the first person of my age, black boy, all that kind of stuff, to have a show on this kind of radio space at this time. So it was more than just me having a show. It was like monumental for many people in the Midlands. And then since then, I've had like 6-7 people fulfill that kind of space that I was in.
Wait, but what did that do in terms of visibility for you as an artist?
I would say my visibility didn't grow much. And I think that's because I didn't step into a realm that was was, you know, promoted my music solely. Because the shows that I was on, the shows that I was working on is BBC introducing. They'll play everything from rock to rap, from dance to techno to dancehall. So people don't really come there for a genre of music. They come there to hear which new artists are doing what. Then when I got my show was about music, arts, and like the culture of West Midlands, which again is not a focus on music. It's like I did shows about beekeeping, and like I did shows about blind dancers. Like it was more about the culture of the city. Sure. So what happened is what it did help me with is doing more like hosting events and, you know, being more like a public figure, which still helped my music indirectly.
I was
because
gonna
people
say,
would
yeah,
search me and say,
that's-
"Oh, he does me. Oh, we can."
Sure.
So I actually started hosting festivals as opposed to promoting them. So
Right.
I did a few in a place called Lancaster. I did some other stuff for the BBC. I was helping with some other radio stuff, and like I got invited to all these cool events. So it was more like on a public figure level. That helped me. I think that was partly why I got verified on Instagram as well. But that was specifically more to do with Ditto Music. But so,
Now, at what point did Ditto Music come into the scene for you? When did you start working with them?
So the two spaces, so I've always released with Ditto Music from the age of 14, but I didn't start working with them until the pandemic hit.
I see. Now, for people who don't know, tell us what Ditto Music is.
So if you're from America, you might know about TuneCore and United Masters and DistroKid. It's the exact same thing, but in the UK. I'm not really here to promote any of them specifically, but it's the same element, you know what I mean? If you are an unsigned artist, you can upload your music, pay a certain fee a year, usually keep all of your royalties, and keep all of the income that comes with that, you know what I mean? And they provide all these other services like management and marketing, promo packs, and some of them you're going to pay for, some of them will reach out and they'll say, you know what, we like what you're doing, let's go 50-50 on it and we'll put all the money behind it, you know what I mean? So there's many ways to work, because the label fashion is not dying out, but it's being exercised, you know what I mean? Like
It's changed.
It's
Let's
changed.
face it, it's
Yeah.
changed because the amount of power the independent artist can now wield gives them a lot more negotiating power, especially if there's a lot of visibility and they have a lot of traction.
Exactly.
You know, and hence the whole content discussion we started this out with, right?
Yeah. So Ditto Music popped up and it said, video content creator. I'm like, well, I'll do this anyway. So I spoke to the guy who runs it, name's Lee, really cool guy. And he's like, yeah, of course, bro. He said, just do the application for formalities. And he was so nice, but he was serious. Like, as long as there's no one better than you, then you can get the job. And respectfully, I'm really good at what I do. You know what I mean? So I didn't really worry about that. But at the same time, someone could have popped up like, I have 15 years in. So, you know what I mean? But
sure.
I got fortunate. And then on top of that, the job wasn't just to edit videos. It was to be the face of the YouTube.
That's what I love about it. And it was not just the face of the YouTube, but educating.
So for me, it brought, you asked about did the BBC help my profile. I would say doing the videos on YouTube for Ditto Music helped it way more.
Way more.
Because then I got verified.
Yeah.
And
of course, it was specific to the music industry.
music, it wasn't culture, it was music.
Yeah.
And even if you're, again, a rock artist or band, a rapper, you can take all these lessons in. You know what I mean? And we're talking about royalties, we're talking about NFTs. We did a video on NFTs and that blew up the most because it was right when people were trying to question what was it. You literally type, what is an NFT? My face comes up. So that kind of, we caught that like as soon as it happened. If you're an artist and you want to get the fans involved, you as a fan could say, you know what, I'm going to buy a certain percentage, a stake in your next release. And then with that might cost £1,000, it might cost £100, whatever it is. But now you have royalty share in my music. So that £1,000 investment or £100 investment now could mean you receive £100 or dollars every quarterly for the rest of your life. So at some point you'll get that money back and it'll keep coming. But then if you keep doing that to different artists and different songs, you spent maybe 10 grand. I'm just making a number here, but within 3-4 years you probably made 100 grand. You know what I'm trying to say?
It's a numbers game at that point, and that becomes this concept of fractionalized ownership.
Yes.
Right, which is very powerful.
Yeah, it's like residual income on top of that. So it's like, but then not all fans necessarily and supporters will understand that. So sometimes you'll get music artists buying into other music. Like I've done it. I've bought people's royalties, like a percentage of it, just to see what would happen. People that I believe in, people that are already doing well, people that show really great numbers on Spotify. Yeah. So maybe they get, I don't know, I'm making up a number, 10,000 a year, something okay. I might be just getting £50 out of that. But if that grows, mine grows too. Do you know what I mean? So, so that's what Ditto Music done, was like open this kind of thing called Opulus, and it was all in the NFT space. But yeah, man, just to kind of go back to like the idea with Ditto, it was just me creating like really great content, and I still do it now. And just kind of providing like something for unsigned artists. You read the comments, bro, it's like, bro, I didn't know this. Oh, thank you so much. And it's a lot of the time it's like, could you please elaborate? And those elaborates, like people would be in my DMs like, bro, can you give me a step-by-step guide on how to do X, Y, Z? But I'll grow followers from that. People would like my music from that because they'd understand I'm not just a person and I have been to university and I got my degree, but I'm not just a person who's gone to university and regurgitating information. I'm telling you information I've applied. to myself.
Right. Have you put a lot of these best practices into play for yourself?
So it's two ways, because again, sometimes it's just me, like, what did I do? And I'm regurgitating that information. And then other times I've had to do like real research, because it's maybe something that I've never needed to do, but maybe an up and coming artist in this realm now needs to work out how to break Instagram, how to, get on a playlist. And I'm like, well, what would I have done if I didn't have XYZ people, or if I didn't already have a connection with XYZ? You know what I mean? So it was the idea of like me researching, but also just like asking friends who are doing really well in that space. And then there's some people where they've got a strong fan base, so it doesn't matter about the playlist necessarily, because when they drop, people are going to go listen. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you got to figure out where are you, what you want to do, how you want to move, present, and run. You can make 40 songs in January coming up and decide, okay, every year, every month, I'm going to release 2 songs. And it looks like you're doing a lot of work when really you've already made the songs. Do you know what I mean? Like, so
Sure.
instead of releasing an album that comes out February and now you're just quiet for the rest of the year.
Right. Well, you got to stay present. You got to stay
100%.
present in front of your fans. I think you've chosen maybe a bit of a mix between releasing music, making music videos, and then just being a presence on social media.
Well, you got it bang on. That's exactly why I do.
Yeah. And so that's your formula.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a different take on this, and I think because you're a strong content producer, you can actually do this in a way that's viable for yourself. And I think that's part of the message here that I think this podcast in particular wants to say is that your approach here is just as valid in the way you're developing, designing your career.
Yeah. I think just also because like the idea of releasing music all the time, some people need time to perfect a song. Some people don't. Some genres of music require it. Some don't.
Yeah.
Like rap in general, if you are just doing a freestyle and you want to release a few bars on a song, as long as you are attacking the song with all your passion and energy and the mix is good, you can go. But if you're doing like, I don't know, a ballad, like a Billie Eilish song, there might be some undertones where you need like, we need to layer these vocals and put 20.
Put a string arrangement in there.
It's a whole different conversation. So it's like, don't think that this applies, I feel, to just everyone and anyone. But if you can, and you have that system and you've got, people working with you and they really want to help you get music out, then use that time and use that space. But some people are just respectfully bedroom artists or bedroom producers, and they can only work with what they can work with, and they only have a certain amount of money to actually get a song mixed, because that might be the other issue. You know what I mean? Mixing and mastering. You can make the song, but it's not, the quality isn't where it needs to be for it to be out there, because what can happen is you have a fantastic song, but it's not received well because you haven't mixed it properly. That was my fault in my younger years. I would throw music out everywhere and realize, well, if you play this in a festival speakers, it's everyone's getting deaf because there's like all the frequencies are off and they're too sharp and the de-esser wasn't on there, like, all these other things. So, yeah.
Well, so now we do have a video of you here doing some freestyle too, right? So let's just talk about your workflow for a minute. This is a cool video. You call it Cami Rhythm.
So it's layered. So Cami Rhythm is a instrumental made by an artist called Blay Vision from London. He does grime. He's very, very talented, very, very cool person. What happened is the same way Jamaicans do dancehall and reggae, there was a point where you'd put out a rhythm, an instrumental, and the best artist would vocal it. The producer would then release it, and that would be something that would get played in the dance, in the club. And that would be, you'd actually listen to the same rhythm for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, but it's different artists going over it. So that carried over into the genre of grime. So the last time that really has happened is actually a friend of mine named Essex, who made a song called The Woo Rhythm. And he put that out with another friend of mine called Jamie Dread. And when that was out, honestly, the whole of the UK, if you did grime, rap, not drill at the time, you would jump on that rhythm because it was a free rhythm to vocal, and you would promote yourself on it. So this is now, it's like a resurgence. It's happened again in the UK. Blay Vision put out this project, it's a project, this instrumental pack, and says, yo, everyone vocal it. And you know what, you can even release it. Just make sure I get 50% of the royalties. So now he's making money. Everyone has a free beat that they can vocal. And now, because everyone loves the beat, everyone's willing to listen to the majority of versions. So now, that was just like me saying, oh, bro, I'll definitely jump on this car. I love the beat. I love the vibe. So I literally heard the beat same day. No, I heard the beat. Then one of my friends jumped on it. And another one, okay, it's one of those. So then, exactly, I've jumped on it now, gone crazy. I've actually vocaled that. Let's say July this year, and then I flew back to the UK in August for a festival. Did the festival and I opened with that song and it was wild, bro. It's on my Instagram. It's like the second video. I pinned it at the top. And you see me come out and wearing orange. I come out and like, you know, before I was Jesus still. And it was just a vibe. Everyone's going wild and crazy. So it's the power of grime music, the power of reggae, the power of dancehall, and the culture of what you would call vocal in a rhythm.
Yo, you would have thought I was Jesus still.
Hey.
My thing way after me is still. Work hard, they never even chill. Haunted, I come with degrees of will. Guard my ends like I'm Peter's quill. Can't jinx me cause I'm G with trill. Man, I run with a T, I don't even spill. Man, get chat like I'm G in chill. Man, too fake, they ain't even real. Man's too fake, had me wheezing still. Man, suitcase had to squeeze and fill. Out in the States, ain't leaving still. Crypto drop and the piece went nil. Market crash, now I'm seeking deals. Amazon sales had me feeling ill. Number one tape, I achieved it still. What? Look, radio active, man, chat shit. Man, I'm at 6, so that 3, there's a hat trick. Man, I come with a style and a tactic. Yeah, man, I spend cash and plastic. Yeah, man, I rock ice with matchstick. Yeah, man, I air better suit chat shit. Yeah, one time for shot, yeah, that's it. Shot swirl. So let me show you the elements. I ain't got spit for a year, I'm still relevant. Disrespect, I won't forget like an elephant. Bun down anybody tries to my regiment. Radio active, did 4 shows on my own, man, packed it. Brought out bros on stage, man, smashed it. Got a long legs, take man's active. Did you know what I'm on out here? Southwest smashed it, had no fear. Left UK, man, I had no tears. Man went, man, I never had no peers. Got bare chains, but I never shift gears. First man safe, man, I never say cheers. Old friends, new friends with the F kids. Man, rate you, snake you, and then it disappear. I don't need no one, man, I just need me. Man, stay high, man, I just need weed. Burnt out, but I still win on 8. I say, suck your man, cause disrespect's free. I used to show bare love, but man love greed. Man love Tate, teeth pre. Got a long man can't side on me. I still murder a man and I'll say it's me. What?
So with grime, it's about multiple things. So it's style,
Yeah.
it's energy, it's vibe, and then it's also lyrical ability. So in there, you'll get similes, metaphors. I say something about, I can't remember the lyric right now, but I say something like, I got bare chains, but I don't shift gears. So it's just the idea of a bike. Do you know what I mean? Little things like that. And I might say, I'm big enough, like I lost my cousin last year, and you see an image come up of him, like a little picture saying, I talk about Shaq, and you see the thing come up. And it's like an opportunity to kind of just get off your emotions and just like, if you're ever feeling like proper frustrated, stressed, and just low, and you put on a grime song, you're not allowed to be, because it's almost the equivalent of rock. That's all I can explain it.
Right.
You're letting these energies and these feelings off, and then within there you'll hear some aggression, but a lot of it really is just therapeutic. When I hear that, I'm like, it reminds me of all the things I was stressing about that I let go. Do you know what I mean?
And is that how you're able to retain all those lyrics and spit them like that so fast, right? Because that's not easy to do, right? That's a skill. How long do you have to practice that to get that to flow?
So there's 2 ways. So if I'm recording it, it's almost instant, because I'm just reading with the energy. And because what I'm saying is completely true, it's easy because I'm just saying it fast. If you were to say, how did I get here today? And I had a little think, I could just tell you. If I'm making it up, now that might be a little bit harder, because now I've got to fabricate. So I've always noticed, when I was younger, if I was to try to make a song and I want to make it sound cooler, so I'm going to add a little bit of spice to it, it was always harder to remember because it's not true. So from young, I was like, well, I ain't doing that. I'm going to just talk the truth.
Right.
But when you talk about like the speed, I mean, I don't know, you could, contest to this more than I can, but do you think when I talk, I maybe talk fast or anyway?
You do.
So there we go. So
You're
it's
pretty quick as it is.
So
Yeah.
in the UK, a lot of people, have a speed problem when they talk. So it's quite easy to just talk like really, really fast and just go with the flow. Like I've got a lyric, and this might never make no sense to you, but I'm gonna just say it. It's like, man, I'm like, wait, da-da-da. Man, I chatting, da-da, wanna spray, da-da-da. Your lyrics wanna take, da-da-da. Wait, da-da-da. Them in the teeps, I don't rate none of them. So that is a classic grime element. I'm saying sounds with a statement and I repeat it. So wait, da-da-da. Da-da-da don't mean anything, but it's memorable. So what I'm actually saying is, man, I like, wait. Man, I chatting, they don't want to spray, but that's boring. If I'm like, man, I like, wait, da-da-da. Man, I chatting, they don't want to spray, da-da-da. It adds this kind of element of like, oh my, what is going on? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure, there's some confusion that's added to the listener's mind trying to process what the F is that, right?
But then if you take away the English from it, it sonically just feels good. Or it feels like expression.
Yeah.
The same way if you were to just throw paint at a canvas, it might not make no sense to you, but the person that did it feels great. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's the element of like so many different things. And again, Jamaican culture, if you hear a lot of them, Jamaican patois is broken English.
Yeah.
Or was deemed that way. I would say it's more of a language now, but it's definitely an accent at least. And even when you hear like Jamaicans talk, sometimes it's mumbly, sometimes it's quick, sometimes you can't catch it. You convert that into being a young person growing up in England, hearing your parents talk like that all the time and hearing English. You're going to have a bit of speed with the way you speak, and you're going to be able to kind of mass things in English. Do you know what I mean? So it's like so much layers of like greatness, I would say. You know?
Yeah, it's super cultural.
Yeah,
There's so much cultural influence there. So I don't know if you noticed, but I got my push here, right?
Yeah.
I got a push here. I got Ableton open.
Okay.
So this is the vital challenge here today. We're gonna just bust a little freestyle right here, right?
Let's go
We're gonna make a
crazy.
little beat. I got a little vibe going here. Let's see what we got here.
What you got for me, bro?
I don't know. Let's check this here a second. All right, let me see what I got here. I got a little layout here. I got a kit up in here.
Hey.
Whoa. We're not ready to do that yet. No. Okay, so let's take a look at this.
Hey.
You got that? You hear some track?
Okay.
All right, so I got a little kit here.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a little groove for you,
And we're going to try.
and we're gonna give a little but just totally freestyling it here in the studio here.
Let's go.
See what we got. Let me see what this is. We already recorded something I didn't want to record there. Oh no, maybe not. Let's see what we got here. So we got some tracks here. Okay, wide open. That's good. So we got a little loop here. So let's start with it. Let's start with this little loop groove. I got
Let's
a little
go.
loop here.
Yeah.
How's that?
Ooh,
Okay. Yeah.
lovely.
All right.
Lovely.
We got a little trap hat in there. I'll
Yeah.
bring it down a little bit in volume.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that same lyric and switch it. Yo, what? When I'm like, wait, da da da. Man, I chatting da da when I spray da da da. Your lyrics when I take da da da. Wait, da da da. Them in the teeth, so don't rate. Wait. Man, I'm like, wait, da da da. When I chatting da da when I spray da da da. Your lyrics when I take da da da. Wait, da da da. Them in the teeth, so don't. I'm the best I know when I roll with the best guys. So you can never ever test vital, cause my title is better than the best guys. So come again, tell them, dog, I'm the best I, and I roll with the best guys. You get licked in your left eye, leave you looking like left eye. You get lifted, yo. Running down ups. Never did nothing, get harassed by cops. Way back when man bop to the shops. Now we book flights and we fly non-stop. Told man once and twice and threes. Man could have sent, had my sent and repeat. Man wanna know why I big up the knees. Car kids love war and he's sport on the beat. Like I still got a million tunes for the streets. Still don't rest, got stress to release. Check nah, third mic in a piece and I go B-Bay, put it down in the sheets. There man dare get scared when I speak. Send me with Jinx or RTT. Send me with Cardo or LB. Yeah, see me if you send me more time, look. Big man watch my age increase. Man just grow and flow on beats. Yeah, I love me the one teeth and seed. I'm here like your girlfriend's sweet. Quick murk for a dead MC. What's next, man's done TV. Highs and lows, cause man don't cheat. Don't sell no A, no B, no C. But every D, every girl want D. Every girl want D. Man, I come through quickly, they want D. Every girl want D. I'm gonna switch up again. Yo, look, I'm out here, I'm trying to make it work. I got plans, but the plans don't work. I ain't gotta push or move any work. Got a next show next day, I gotta work. So I gotta push this thing until it works. Man, try block up the gears and it works. Me, I got bare new traps and it works. God will if you could find these traps, I gotta work. Look, I ain't got stress or rest, just work. Too much pressure, my head won't work. Man said the love, fate, love don't work. Yeah, I said the love, fate, love don't work. 9 to 5, I swear down, that's work. From morning, man, I put in the work. See, man, tried and failed and worked till I'm dead or I'm dying low. Yo, look, me at the boss, pass, look on my stance. Me boss about when I look like no fraud. Suave, large, girl, I big feet hard. Cause when them see me have to mind on my talk. Laugh. So they get them, I love me to them, look, drop out them. Raw. So they get them, I love me to them. Yo, look, send me mad, send me wicked and bad. He roll me one, come me sicker than that. And the girl, you see me girl up on a me girl. So every boy have to say the one and send me a tan bad. Them girl up posing in the with a tan bad. Them girl up one at them only have one man. Me I do it for the world, I want song. But when they come on the song now, me not stop, me not flop. Anyway, me them say the girl I talk enough. Every time I spit, them I cock up and they will want me joke and they will want me. Oh my gosh, now they stop me for no, me telling that become sick quick, bigger me flow. You know but then every time I spit I live it know. So me man become spit so hard, feel like Arthur. Yo, I the wickedest, never lose winning it. Never sleep or taking it to me, want like a million. They up to me fancy that me send me at the sickest in this business. Nobody get the with like me at the bumble card, say that the wickedest, never lose winning it. Never sleep or taking it to me, want like a million. They up to me fancy that me send me at the sickest in this business.
That was
Yeah. Vibes. My guy, I love that. I love
See,
that.
that's what I'm talking about.
That's a vibe,
That's
bro.
just freestyle creativity.
That was amazing.
You're just like letting it flow, and I'm just messing around here.
No, but I might need that beat later so we can make this official.
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it. Spend a few more minutes on this. We can refine the beat.
We go 50-50.
Okay, I bet.
It's
down.
on camera. It's on camera. So
sounds good. That was our split deal right there.
Right there.
I love it.
Contract.
I love it. So I mean, to me, that's the heart of Vital Power, right there.
Man. Just going for it,
because you're like a fountain of expression.
Yeah, bro.
And I love that about you, man. It's Vital. This has been awesome.
This has been fantastic.
It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you and freestyling. We got to do some more of that.
No, we have to do that.
Let's do some more of that, man. Right? All right.
Forget the cameras, roll. Let's just do that.
All right. We will. So you can find Vital Powers out on the interwebs tell us where we can find you.
The easiest thing, if you type Vital Powers, all my stuff come up. I've had to rejig and work on SEOs and keywords to make sure that happens.
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I mean? But if you really want to lock in, Vital and then 0, the character. So Vital 0 on everything.
Nice.
Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook,
You're out
Instagram, Pinterest, bro. Like everything, bro. Like eBay. If
Beautiful.
you really want to find me, bro.
Nice. And as always, if you enjoy the podcast, smash the like button, subscribe to us. You can find us on mentormymix.com. And of course, big thanks to Pyramide Studios for hosting us and making this all possible. Again, thanks so much, Vital. This has been a pleasure.
I appreciate you, bro.
Big up.
Powers and love.
Right on.
Hey.
Boom.
Mentor My Mix is made possible by Pyramide Music and Audio Production Institute. Evolve your sound with expert trainers and up-to-date courses designed to fit the needs of emerging artists and producers looking to build careers in the music and game audio industries. Go to pyramide.com for details on the San Francisco campus and online programs. Remember, if you have a guest suggestion or want to contact me for any reason, we have a contact form on the Mentor My Mix website. That's mentormymix.com. Or feel free to email me at greg@mentormymix.com.